A couple of things. Two, yep, okay, guitar plus the stand. Yep, and then three, the baby. The baby thing. Like the baby announcement. We congratulate Mazel Tov to such and such for their brand new baby.
So that was
Sis?
Sis myself, yes. Yes, you were.
I don't know if it's in there, but
Oh, wait. How about in here?
But it's,
That is good?
you can set it on a table or something like that. Sorry.
oh,
Yeah.
You gonna stay in the shade?
Okay. Who's
I know, right?
Eins, zwei, drei.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a talit?
I am.
You are going to wear a talit?
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I brought it out here and everything.
Yeah.
This, and I got the name already too.
You got the, I don't have a cottage list. Does somebody have it?
In here.
Oh, in there.
And also, if you want something fun we've been doing after, well, so she's got Osei Shalom.
I know that.
I've been doing when we get the opportunity, turning to mitzvahs, or turning to simchas.
You do that.
You want me to do that? I'll do that. So I'm just going to write the
If
name.
that's what you've been doing, then you're going to be doing.
So this is first great granddaughter to S'more Shabbat.
Yes.
June.
Okay, Norman. I'm actually going to hold some Tuesday.
Oh, yeah?
I have a place in pictures.
Oh, that's a nice place to be. Right.
Winter. On Beach Gardens, and then they, and then they summer in the Berkshire. Okay. You know, she's the president of the conference there.
Okay.
Let's hope.
Yeah, you're right.
If it's there, she's
right.
in doing it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to a few days there.
Yeah, you should give her my best.
I will definitely.
What? Oh, that's the Nigun? Okay, you go ahead and do your Nigun.
Yeah, not that key. I don't like that.
That's a good way to start.
Yep. Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. It's so good to be with you here. You who have come in person to be with us for S'more Shabbat and are welcome back for our religious school, back to a new school year, back to the High Holy Days that are around the corner. You who have joined us online, welcome to you too. I'm Rabbi Brent Gutmann. I am delighted to be here tonight with our Rabbi Emeritus Norman Roman, as well as our cantorial soloist Janet Christensen. It is so good to be back together here outside at Kol Ami, and
This is
welcome.
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 If it's S'more Shabbat, it's because we're gonna have some more rabbis, music. No, it's lovely to be here. My wife Lynn is here. For those of you who know us, those of you who don't know us, it's nice to meet you, and welcome Shabbat. You can't hear me. Thank you. Okay, who's in charge?
Not loud enough here.
Is that better? Still no. Okay. I'll use the Bema voice.
That one.
No.
That one.
Yes.
Hey, hey, hey.
Okay. They'll hear me down at Temple Israel now. Okay. We remember that voice from years ago. Again, Shabbat Shalom. And it's good to see so many friendly faces, welcoming faces to those of you who have welcomed us back, including Rabbi Gutmann. Appreciate it very much, and we're glad to be able to share some more Shabbat with you tonight.
So we begin our service tonight lifting our voices, welcoming Shabbat. We continue on our lavender sheets on the front side, Lichu Niranana. Did y'all enjoy some hot dogs and some chips and some goodies a moment ago? Well, we have a group to thank for that. We want to thank our religious school committee who put together this wonderful event, and we're going to welcome them forward to come and share with us the light of Shabbat, to light our candles. Go for it, Caitlin. Absolutely. We're all about safety in our school.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
We wish you strength as we start a new year here. Shkoach to all of you, and thank you for everything you do for Kol Ami. A new year is an opportunity for new beginnings and new songs and new melodies, and so we celebrate that newness. We continue Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Sing a new song, the bottom of your purple sheets.
Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Shiru
To God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God.
Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
So Shabbat is a time for blessings, a special time for us to be able to gather together with our community and our friends and with our family. And so we want to welcome those blessings in. We want to welcome them in as we welcome one another. We continue on page 20, opening up our prayer books for Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekavela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nekavela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad L'shemo tiferet v'litzila lecha dodi Likrat kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela lecha dodi Likrat kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha Ki mekor habracha Merosh mikeden nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila lecha dodi Likrat kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela lecha dodi Likrat kala Pnei Shabbat Nekabela.
Verse 5.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech gumi
welcome those special angels of Shabbat, verse 9, to the entrance.
בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה, בואו יחלה, בואו יחלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, נקבלה.
We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish, page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה, בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
We rise for the call to worship, page 28.
Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai havorach. Baruch Adonai havorach, havorach, leolam vaed. Havorach, havorach, leolam vaed.
We welcome back our families. We welcome the ways in which we appreciate this world that we're able to be together, to enjoy this beautiful weather outside. No rain, just a few clouds to keep the cool for us.
You're welcome.
We turn over our lavender sheets as we continue when God made the world.
So we have some hand motions for this. So I'm going to need a little bit of help. Oh, yes, please be seated if you would like. But there are hand motions. Even while you're sitting, there are still hand motions. Okay. This heat and strings.
Humidity.
So when God made the world, right? So our world is big and round and beautiful.
When God This is very good. This is very good. Man, woman, and child, all are good. This is very good. This is very good. Man, woman, and child resemble God. When God made the world, God made it full of light. The sun to shine by day, the moon and stars by night. God made it full of life. Lilies, oaks, and trout, tigers and bears, sparrows, hawks, and apes.
Okay. From sparrows and hawks and apes to children, some of whom are here, that remind us how important a temple, a congregation, a school, parents, grandparents, and even older brothers and sisters can be. And that's what we're about. Temple Kol Ami, certainly, and any of the communities and congregations which any of us participate in around the world. Certainly in West Bloomfield, and certainly in Green Valley, Arizona, which is where we're living now. So, a story, if you will. A story that gives a very important message to the children and to those of us who are privileged to teach them and be taught by them, and to realize how important life can be with them. Once upon a time, that's a quote from the Talmud, right? Once upon a time, there were 3 people who were traveling in a boat. And each was saying to the other how they were pleased to bring with them on the journey one of their favorite things, something that really made them feel important and made them feel that life was worthwhile. The first person said, "Look at all the jewelry that I've bought and brought on this journey. I have a necklace, and I have a bracelet, I have a watch, and I have a ring. All of these things that have been given to me by someone else whom I loved. And each of those things reminds me of someone." The second person said, "I didn't bring jewelry, I brought some pieces of clothing, including things that only Jewish people might wear, like a talit, like a kippah that's not on my head, but that's all right, and various things that have been handed down. I wear them because it makes me feel that others have gone on this journey with me." And the third person said, "What I brought with me is my favorite book. I brought a book because it tells me all kinds of things, and even if I read it more than once, I learn and I appreciate and I value what has been handed to me and that I can bring inside of me, not on the outside, but inside. Not wearing it on my wrist or on my neck. Some people on my nose or my ears, whatever, belly button, wherever you might be wearing jewelry. Other people with their clothes. I know that clothes are important, but what I find in the book really speaks to me more than anything else. And then, as happens in life sometimes, there was a storm. And the storm overturned the boat, and the three people were able to see each other on land safely, and they said to each other, how were you able to survive? How were you able to manage? And the woman or the man, I don't remember which it was, it doesn't matter, who was talking about the jewelry said, no, I lost everything. And the person who had brought certain clothes said, no, I lost everything. And the person who had talked about his favorite thing or her favorite thing being a book said, well, I lost the book, but inside of me is everything that the book taught me. And so I can go on. In a sense, that's what the temple, in all of our history, some now 55, 56 years of Temple Kol Ami, and all of the learning and all of the experiences which you, of all ages and all generations, inside of those books that we write and that we share and that we give on to the young people who are here and those who will be joining with the school during the coming year. Yes, there's jewelry that makes things look kind of glitzy and fancy. Yes, there are clothes that might remind us of those who have been with us before, and they give us a warm feeling. But there's also the books, the learning, the Shinantam Levanecha, teach your children. That's not Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. That's Torah. Okay, teach your children. Teach them with books. Teach them with stories. Teach them with smiles and with your lives and your experience, because that's what we're all about. The prayers that we will be including now remind us, challenge us, and make that a mitzvah. What I translate, some of you know, as a life sanctifying act, a commandment. To take all of this learning, take all of the love, take all of the appreciation for Judaism and those who have stood before us. B'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, b'chol me'odecha. Take it into our lives, take it into our hearts, take it into our souls, take it into all that we have in our might, and pass it on to the generations yet to come. May it be a good school year. May it be a good, sweet, and healthy year for all. And we say, Amen.
And a good, sweet, healthy year for you as well, Rabbi, as we continue in our prayer books with the Shema, rising in body or spirit according to your custom, page 34. Oh, in that case. Glad to share.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
seated as we continue over the page with Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzadecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue with our song for freedom on page 40.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהי לו עושה פלא,
We have a lot that we're called to learn in our tradition, to think about, to appreciate as we grow. And one of those things to appreciate is the community that we have, the security and comfort and sense of homeness that it brings us, the feeling of shelter. And that's an image that comes into our next prayer, the Hashkivenu, that we're asking for protection and shelter here, to have a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace spread over us. And so as we prepare for this prayer, let's focus on that feeling of security and peace that we hope to have, that we hope to be able to extend to one another, and that we hope to be able to create together. We'll continue Haporeh Sukkot Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai haporeh sukkot shalom. Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporesh sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Page 44, the Shamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Man, there's something about that one. It always makes me feel like I got Shabbat. Always. We're about to enter into the Amidah. It has lots of names actually. Amidah, Tefillah, Shemona Esrei. We're about to enter into that main long set of prayers that is our core prayer section of the evening service. And we're going to continue together in the beginning of the Amidah and complete it each in our own way. We'll be together from page 46 through page 52, and then from there you have the opportunity to use the books you have, words of your own heart, whatever gives you serenity in this moment. And it is a standing prayer. When you feel like you're ready, though, please go ahead, have a seat. We can relax, and we'll catch up with you. Right now, though, we are on page 46. We rise as we begin the Amidah with Adonai Sefatai Tiftach.
Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mei Gula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magid Abraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Ata Rab Le'Hoshia, Morid Chatal, Mechalkel Chaim V'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol Be'rachamim Rabim, Tzomech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umkayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua.
B'ne'eman natan lecha chayot hakol.
Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol.
Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, kadoshim l'chol yom yihalu chasela. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
want to fill our lives and our homes and our temple with that sense of peace, and we ask for that sense of peace to be brought and made to us, especially with what all of us have been through this past period of time, a period of real challenge and difficulty for a lot of individuals in our world. In a time here when on our service we reach this point, we make a special moment to ask for that which is most sacred and important in our lives, our health and our wholeness, and to do so in recognition of all those individuals in our world who are in need of healing, whether that be physical or spiritual or some emotional healing. We draw all of them into our hearts now in this moment as we create our prayer. And we have this tradition here at Temple Kol Ami that if you would like to share a name from your own personal circle of concern, that we, even if we don't have someone in particular we're thinking of, we're opening ourselves up to experiencing and hearing and envisioning all of those faces, all of those people who are in need of healing around us. We draw them all into our collective thoughts and our collective hearts as we hope that our prayer contains that power to bring that healing that is so much needed to our world. If you'd like to share a name. For Joyce. Grace and Gail. For the Nolans. Suzanne? Bobby Shanton. So for all those, for Lauren Edelman and Ellen Rosker, and for the Afghani people as well. For Dina Farm. For all those mentioned and the many, many more that go unmentioned, we pray for Refuah Shlema, full and complete healing, as we continue with the Misha Berach on page 253. So a moment ago, a little bit earlier in our service, Rabbi Roman shared a very important word, which I think you said life-affirming acts is the way that you've defined that. The word for mitzvot. And mitzvot are the things that we look to be able to guide our lives that come out of Torah, and there's a whole lot of them in Torah. We have a traditional number. Does anyone know how many traditionally we find in the Torah? getting a nod here. 613. 613. There are a lot of them, and there are things that maybe are obvious to us and things that maybe are not so obvious to us, but the idea that we can participate in these life-affirming acts, these commandments that are there for us in Torah, gives us a sense of meaning and purpose and a guide for our lives. And especially at this time right now, as we are mere weeks away from the high holy days, we think about all of these mitzvot that are contained in the Torah, all of these teachings and these acts that we can engage in to lift ourselves higher to a place where we can experience a greater sense of alignment in our lives with the forces that are in our universe and with the sense of God's presence that abides by us here. And this week's Torah portion is actually a good time to talk about mitzvot, because Kitese has more than any other portion in the Torah, more mitzvot than any other portion in the Torah. Anyone have a guess how many? If there's 613 total, how many do you think we find in this week's portion? Huh? No? Any guesses? 14. It's a good number. It's a good number. It's a really good number. 73. 73 we find more than any other in any parsha in the Torah. And these mitzvot, they cover all kinds of things. They tell us about how we're supposed to engage with our family and friends and to treat one another. They tell us about some rules of conduct in war. They tell us things about how we are supposed to dress and how we are supposed to behave with modesty and with respect for other people. They tell us about things like we need to be safe. And when we make buildings, we've got to make sure that these buildings conform to certain codes and regulations so that no one gets hurt. If we have a roof, we're supposed to build a fence around that roof, a parapet, so that no one should fall and get injured. There are all of these mitzvot here in our portion. But I think something special to think of because of the time of year it is, and because of where we are and because of what we're moving into, is we're all called to have this cheshbon nefesh. I want to bring a teaching, Maimonides, great rabbi of the 12th century, so smart. In fact, he wrote a book called the Mishnah Torah, the second Torah, some might say, and he got a little bit of flack for that name, but that's buried in the rabbinic archives. He had a teaching that while we have these 613 mitzvot, 73 of them that come from this week's Torah portion, all of us should have a mitzvah in our hearts that we are yearning to do and that we are thinking about doing. And so as we do our cheshbon nefesh, as we do our act of preparation, thinking about our lives and the years we've had and who we are and who we want to be, what is something that we would like to be able to do, to use Rabbi Roman's language, as a life-affirming act? What is something that we can look to in this year as an opportunity to grow, to bring more sacredness and holiness into our lives? How can we find a way in this day today to find that stepping stone that is going to bring us just one step closer, just a little bit closer? That's all we've got to do, to the people that we aspire to be and to being able to bring more sacredness into our lives. And if
To bring a little s'more
sacredness into our lives, I'm sharp, he's witty. So with that thought in mind, with that focus in our hearts, with our reflections about all of those mitzvot, some that we feel closer to than others, but some that we affirm and connect with and commit to in this coming year, we hope that we should be able to join in one voice to be able to live our lives with purpose and with meaning. And as we do so, we think of the promise of a world that can be better, that we can participate in making better through our acts of our own hands, to do mitzvot, to do these life-affirming commandments, and to be able to use our hands to bring blessings to our lives, to the lives of our family, the lives of our friends, the lives of our community, and those that we spend time with in our time here on earth. And so, in this moment, we rise to think of that that moment that is possible, that moment where through our acts we can bring affirmation. We turn to page 282 in our books as we continue with Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום להשבותה לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתנו. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated.
Page 291, the bottom of the page, is a well-known poem to those of us especially who have studied in Israel. The poem and the lesson and the challenge and the memory speak to us especially, those of us as rabbis, those of us as community leaders, as we mourn the death of truly one of those whom we call Gedolei Hador, the giants of the generation. Rabbi Richard Hirsch, Asher Hirsch, passed away this week. Dick Hirsch was not only a rabbi's rabbi, not only a friend, but he was a leader and a scholar. He was one whose work, whose life, whose dreams, whose vision will continue to impact not just the liberal Jewish community, but the entire Jewish world, if not the world of God's creation and humanity. I hope you have the opportunity to hear more about my friend, my teacher, my Rabbi Richard Hirsch, born in Cleveland. That's a whole other part of the story. But his memory, his dreams, his vision, his accomplishments truly will be a source of blessing for all of us. And we add his name to those whom we remember, especially this week. And the poem at the bottom of page 291 was one of his favorites. יש כוכבים שאורם מגיע ארצה, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו ואינם. יש אנשים שזיו זכרם מאיר, כאשר הם עצמם אינם עוד בתוכם. אורות אלה המבהיקים חשכת הליל, הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך. Please join with me. There are stars up above. So far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. As a community and congregation, we pause now to think of loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, especially during this past week and this past month, Harav Asher Hirsch and Bruce Allen Zach. We think of those who died at this season in years past. We draw them into our hearts with our own, especially in this, the week, the season of their yortzeit, their passing. We think of Shirley Abramovitz, Etta Bleckman, Carl Bacher, Myron H. Boardman, Gerald A. Goldfarb, Philip Greenberg, Betty Horowitz, Adeline Immerman, Manuel Covell, Harold Jacob Lemkin, Richard Maltz, Hannah Bell Paul, Leonard B. Rosenberg, Eric Schwartz, Sidney M. Shevitz, Riva Schwader, Sarah Goldman Spinner, Isidore Weinberg, and Libby Wilner. Are there others whose names anyone would wish to add specifically? Please, Jack Kramer. Zichronam livracha. May their memories all truly be a blessing. Please. Evelyn Schwartz also. We remember them, we honor their memories, we pray that their rest will be b'shalom, in eternal peace. We rise as one community and congregation to recite words hallowed by centuries of faith. Mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Yatom, is on page 294. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shmei Rabbah, V'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechonu v'yomecho, v'chay dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei d'krusha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring comfort to those amongst us who mourn. May God, in answer to our prayers, send peace to us, to all Israel, and to all humanity. And let us say, Amen.
Oh, say shalom v'imromav, uyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
You may be seated. Turn to Simchas for a moment and say that we just learned of the recent birth of June Maisel, who is the first great-granddaughter of our member Sis Maisel, and so we wish her Mazel Tov. I don't know if there's any other Simchas to share. I heard about a birthday over here. Happy birthday. Coming up tomorrow. Happy birthday. Any other Simchas to share? Any other good occasions? Deb? My birthday yesterday. Thank you. Thank you. Happy anniversary, Mazel Tov. How many years? Wow, 44. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Well, it is wonderful to be here, to be able to celebrate Shabbat together, to be able to celebrate all of our happy moments together. I want to take a moment to say shkoach to Janet and to Rabbi Roman and to our stream team, Jordan and Alon, who are inside bringing our service to all of our online members, to all of you who came tonight. Shabbat Shalom, and wishing you strength and health and all good things as we approach the new Jewish year. I'd like to welcome our officer and secretary, Amy Klein, to come up and share our announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening, including those who were here for our dinner. Services tomorrow at 11, next Friday at 6, next Saturday at 11. I'm going to run through these pretty quickly because all of you see our s'mores over there. So, this Sunday, Ride with the Rabbi, 10 a.m. Join Rabbi Gutmann on a bike ride. Monday, August 23rd at 7, join Temple Kol Ami alumni, physicist Nancy Hecker Denschlag, daughter of members Elaine and Dr. Earl Hecker, when she will share about the Albert Einstein Discovery Center in Ulm, Germany. Tuesday, August 4th, 12 o'clock, join our own Jill Gutmann as she takes a deep dive into Jewish medical ethics. Saturday, August 28th at 7:30 p.m., join us when we observe Slichot. Please join us as we change our Torah covers to white and begin to prepare ourselves to start the High Holy Day season. Monday, August 30th at 12 o'clock, Rabbi Gutmann's monthly class called Jews in the News. Please remember to fill out the High Holy Day registration form if you plan to attend in-person services. It's in the weekly email. Save the date, Relay for Life, Saturday, September 11th, 7 to 10 a.m. at the Detroit Zoo. That can't be right. Consider being a High Holy Day angel. We would like to thank our ushers, Sharon Trosch, Tom Johnson. Thank you to Rabbi Gutmann, Janet, Rabbi Roman. We're all glad you're here. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Ooh, Yishkoach. That's a full sheet and a new time record, I think. It is correct about Relay for Life. It is on September 11th at the Detroit Zoo, and it will conclude by 10, which means you have time to make it to morning services, 11 o'clock. So just in case you'd like to join us or support our team online as well, Kol Ami has always had a wonderful representation at this really important fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. We have the s'mores waiting, and so we have our closing song tonight. It is Adon Olam, which can be found in your prayer books on page 321.
So we're going to split you guys down the middle. So this side is going to be with the rabbi, and this side is going to be with the rabbi and me. And you guys will follow along. Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach, B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
V'yed Nasa,
B'chefsuko,
Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam, V'yacharei yivot hakol, Levado yimot nara Adon Olam, Vehu haya, Vehu hoveh, Vehu yeh b'tifara Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir
Nivra, V'yed Nasa,
B'chefsuko, Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam, Vehu echad ve'ein sheni, Lehamshilo lehachbira Adon Olam, V'li reishit, v'li tachlit, V'lo ha'oz ve'hamizra Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir
Nivra,
V'yed Nasa,
B'chefsuko, Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam, Vehu Eli, V'chai Goli, V'tzur chabli v'hitzara Adon Olam, Vehu Nisi, Umanos li, Menat kosi b'yom ekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir
Nivra, V'yed Nasa,
B'chefsuko, Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam, B'yado afkid ruchi, V'yed tishan b'ya'ira Adon Olam, V'yivruchi geviati, Adon ali v'lo ira Adon Olam.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Enjoy the s'mores.
Shabbat Shalom.